Welcome to primary season in New Hampshire, often a winter wonderland of an event. But they are hardy folks here, and a few inches of snow doesn't stop them from their favorite winter quadrennial recreation, going out to meet the presidential candidates. On this night, it was Texas Senator Ted Cruz in Salem, New Hampshire. There was a good crowd on hand, as it often does at town hall meetings in New Hampshire, where drug abuse is a big problem. The topic came up. Cruz spoke about how it impacted his family.
This is an issue that I understand firsthand. My older sister, Miriam, who was my half-sister from my father's first marriage when she was a little girl, when both of my half-sisters were little girls, my father and their mother divorced. And Miriam was very angry about that. And she remained angry her entire life. And she battled with drug and alcohol addiction her entire life. When I was a kid, when I was a teenager, my older sister, who I loved, she was beautiful, she was charming, she would steal money from her kid brother to use to feed her addictions. And she ended up making a series of very wrong choices. When I was in my mid-20s, Miriam had gone in and out of jail several times. And she had gotten with a guy who had more serious drug problems than she did. And she was living in a crack house in Philadelphia. And so my father flew up from Texas, and he and I was in D.C. I just started practicing law at a law firm, was a brand new baby lawyer. Two of us drove up to Washington to try to get my sister. And I remember leaving our rings and our watches and our wallets, leaving them all at home because, we're driving to a crack house. I didn't know if we were going to get shot or robbed or what was going to happen. And we pulled my sister out of there. We took her to a Denny's down the street. And we sat and talked with her for 3, 4, 5 hours, trying to get her. Her son, Joey, he was in 6th grade then. And we were saying, Miriam, you can't do this. Joey depends on you. You're his mom. He needs you. And Miriam wouldn't listen. She was angry. She kept going on about how Daddy had missed her swim meet in high school. And she was just in a state of rage. So we were not able to pull her out. She didn't want to leave. She wanted to go back to the crack house. And so we ended up, I had just gotten a job, but I took a $20,000 cash advance on my credit card and used that to put Joey in a boarding school in Valley Forge Military Academy. And it proved to be very helpful structure in his life. He needed some order and some sense of sanity. The next year, Miriam had done better. She had gotten out of that. She was still not doing great, but she was more able to care for her son. And then 5, 6 years ago, Miriam overdosed of drugs. She had started on painkillers. She had had a car accident and hurt her back. She was prescribed painkillers. And that started a downward spiral, and she went to bed one night. The coroner ruled it accidental. We don't know. But Joey came to his mom's apartment and opened the door and found her dead in the bed. So I've seen firsthand the ravages of drug addiction.